name is Banana the Emoji, and I am an idiot. If you ever give me a gift, you have to think about two things. Will Banana break this, or will Banana lose this? Both of which usually end up happening. I am a walking disaster. But one time, way back in 5th grade, my mom threw away this little checklist and decided to give me her favorite ring from when she was in 5th grade. Oh, I was in love. I had so many visions of the ring becoming a staple in my wardrobe, being known for my awesome ring, losing circulation in my finger until it falls off, you know, 5th grade girl stuff. But none of these visions ended up coming true because my mom overlooked the fact that a ring is a very small object that I could easily end up losing. Or, you know, end up having me break my arm. Now, I was heading over to a friend's house to do what? Play with chalk, but we didn't draw with chalk like a normal kid. No. We collected chalk dust and tried to fill an entire container with the little particles. Did anyone else do this as a kid, or was it just weird? I was just weird. And this is what chalk dust looks like after being compacted in the garage. We just barely found this. This is chalk dust, and it was underneath all of those bins. And you can see it just crumbled right up. That's chalk. Back to the story. Of course, I wasn't gonna let my new ring get all dusty, so my genius brain took it off and placed it where I would definitely remember it. I didn't remember it. So that night, I realized the ring was gone and freaked out. Could I have waited until morning to grab the ring at my friend's house? No, my mom wasn't home and I wanted to prove that I was responsible enough to handle this on my own. But it's not very often that my mom isn't home, and every time that she isn't home, something always seems to happen. Something disastrous. Tragic! Yeah, one time when she was gone, I went to bring a carton of milk from our downstairs fridge to our fridge upstairs, and the bottom of the milk carton burst and spilled everywhere, and I kept my dad up until midnight cleaning up my milk mess. Back to the actual story. So, there I was, hopping on my scooter to fetch my mom's ring from my friend's house. You know, thinking about this now, I could have just walked. Our houses are literally right next to each other. But I took out my scooter anyway and began rolling down our driveway, which just happens to be a hill. Normally, I would have gone as fast as possible because that's fun. But because the sun was going down, I went extra slowly so I wouldn't get hurt. And ow! I fell. The most tender fall, I must add. I have a skill for falling down without getting hurt, most of the time. And I fell on the grass. So I kind of just sat there for the next couple of minutes, contemplating life and the meaning of, Then I tried standing up. I couldn't stand up. I didn't have my watch to call my dad, so I had no choice but to sit there and wait for what felt like an entire lifetime. And then, there it was. The light. The savior. An old lady walking her dog. She spotted me and ran over. Help me. My house is right over there. Can you grab my dad and tell him I'm hurt? She started walking away, but before she could get too far, I stopped her and looked her in the eye. Cute dog. I had literally broken one of my bones, and one of the first things I said afterwards is a compliment on a dog. Okay, so my dad came running and helped me up because at this point in time, I was more worried about my legs than my arm, which, if you didn't read the title, that was the bone that I broke. Well, after breaking my arm, I was stupid again. You know those little hanging things on a swing set that little kids love? We have one of those in our backyard, and while having some neighborhood friends over, they couldn't figure out how to get on top of it. But I was an expert. With my broken arm, I swung up, and although I was the king of the world for a second, I had actually screwed up my arm and the doctors had to re-break it so it wouldn't heal weird. It was my first time being under the sleepy thingy that they do, and I remember waking up for a split second in the middle of the surgery, and one of the doctors looked like he had 4 eyes. So I was polite enough to tell him, "You have 4 eyes." I love 5th grade brains, don't you? Hey, thank you so much for watching my first video. I'm trying to get this channel monetized to possibly help me pay for college, so it would mean a lot if you subscribed. Also, if you want to know a really stupid way to break your arm, my little brother tripped over a pebble in kindergarten and ended up having to get surgery.